Look who just rolled in. It's time to butter up your ears to laughs, life, and a little flaky wisdom. It's all about the Biscuits with RJ.
At All About the Biscuits, we believe life's just a big old platter of toppings. Flaky, spicy, sweet, even messy. And guess what? We butter them all up and dig right in. Whether it's real talk or ridiculous rants. I'm RJ and we're serving it hot. All topics, all biscuits, always served hot.
All right. Welcome back to All About the Biscuits with RJ. That's right, this guy. Thanks for joining us today, where all topics, all biscuits are always served hot. All right. Just one quick disclaimer. One take, that's all. And remember, if you don't like it, move on out. We're okay with that. Just change the channel. We're all here to enjoy my ranting and raving. Today, we're going to talk about a topic that I might mention from time to time. I don't want to say it's sensitive to myself because I've ended up better on the other side. When you're as a kid growing up, sometimes you think everything's normal until that one day when someone calls you a name or picks on you at no fault to yourself, and it changes your entire life, and maybe how you view things moving forward as growing up and maturing into an adult. And yeah, that's right, I was bullied as a kid, bullied up until I would say through high school a little bit, but it all started second, third grade. I didn't really know what was happening when people, kids can be cruel. They just start calling you names out of nowhere. You don't know why. You don't know what you did. You're just hanging out with your friends. And at second, third grade, as a kid, who the hell knows what's going on? You're still just trying to figure things out. It's not like in class I ever peed myself, pooped myself. I never did anything to anybody that I know of. But yeah, kids just start calling you names for absolutely no reason. Kids learn things at home, their environment. Who knows? Who the hell really fucking knows? But I think the first time I realized something was probably not just from the name calling, because I didn't really understand it. I don't think I went home and said, "Hey, mom, dad, someone was calling me names. I don't get it." I guess I just maybe forgot about it. But the time when I started noticing a difference with how people were treating me was second, third grade still. Was when we were in recess, gym class outside, and you get picked last for kickball or Indian pin or any of those games that we played as kids. And, you start to wonder, why was I picked last? It wasn't like a short little fat kid or chubby kid or anything like that. Not awkward as far as I know. I had my group of friends. But yeah, it was the time when I got picked Mr. Relevant last for gym class. But what's funny is I don't remember being picked last moving on or any other time. I always played like city sports until high school. I always knew kids in the neighborhood, never had any problems. We always had like play dates or whatever you want to call them, even when we got older. And then fourth grade came. And that's when it hit home that I was being picked on and bullied. I believe it was actually the first day or the first week of school. Someone came up to me and said, "You're fighting such and such at 3:00 today." And literally, it was like the movie. 3:00, I was fighting a new kid that I had never even spoken to, never even met, never even knew. And somebody said I said something about him, and I have no fucking clue what I said. I was stunned as a fourth grader going, "What is going on?" And all day I kept hearing that you should have never said such and such about somebody. And I said, I never met this person. So I don't know what the heck is going on. And that was probably the first time, definitely first fight, which wasn't really a fight. So, all day, I don't know if I would say I was nervous. I was more confused because I didn't understand what was going on. 3 o'clock came, walking home, and the kid confronted me. I guess there was probably about 6 or 7 kids there. And all I remember is my sister ran and got somebody, and I don't remember anything else about the fight. And that's about it. Never talked to the kid again. Never said anything until like high school, because this person ended up becoming good friends with my lifelong friend, that I had met in nursery school at 4 or 5 years old. And we still talk from time to time. Definitely one of those things, you talk every 6 months, you're caught up in about a 30-minute conversation. It felt like yesterday, and nothing's really changed. So that was the first time that I realized, I learned what a dork or a nerd was. Um, I don't know if I really took it to heart that it made me feel bad, but it did make me feel different. I guess I started noticing it even more because I used to play Dungeons and Dragons after school. I was in reading therapy after school because I had trouble with reading comprehension, um, which at the time, I could read, but I wasn't really good at comprehending what I was reading. I don't know if I saw things reversed or backwards. I just couldn't put the ideas together reading. Um, and I would literally walk out, um, and see my bike without handlebars or without a seat, still locked up to the bike rack, and my crap is all twisted or stolen. So I would have to walk home 2 or 3 days a week, not riding my bike. And, I think that moment I realized, why is someone picking on me when I haven't done shit to anybody else? And that feeling is when it all came together. And I look back, Mr. Relevant, name calling, the fight that never really happened. Um, I mean, there were no punches thrown. Um, and then my bike in fourth, fifth, sixth grade, just being a kid. And then I guess that's when it all hit. It was because of my bike. Um, and I had never done anything to anybody, said anything, had a normal childhood. It was kind of, it does remind me of the show Stranger Things, for sure. Being part of a group similar to those kids. But it all hits home. Doesn't feel good. But I just kept on going. I got middle school. We had a bunch of elementary schools come together in our middle school. So I met new people, new friends. Still got picked on, and I don't know why. I still never said anything, never did anything. I was still playing sports, and I think sports was the thing that really saved me going into high school because I knew a lot of the athletes. I wasn't like close friends with them, but I knew them enough that people started leaving me alone. I hung out with my friends who were more metalheads, um, but I still played sports and knew those athletes. So it kind of helped me being involved with different groups of people because high school, people really kind of just left me alone. They still thought I was a dork or a nerd or whatever. And what's funny is I'm not even like a book nerd. I was just, I guess I was awkward. I don't even know really. but it does suck. Kids can be cruel. Adults can be cruel. Um, you know, as an adult, I always learned sticks and stones. Um, uh, I got thick skin. Now I'm at the point where, I don't really care what anybody says about me. Um, I do care if it's lies because I'm usually pretty honest and transparent, very sarcastic, not going to lie, but definitely thick skin, um, sensitive to people's feelings, even though a lot of times people are too sensitive these days. But yeah, I don't like bullies. Um, I guess being bullied most of my life does mean that I might bully people sometimes. And at least I realize it, and it's not a good feeling. So, it's being bullied as a kid um, is just not a good feeling. But I had a good upbringing for the most part. When I got to college, I kind of reinvented myself. I wouldn't say I was bullied, but I did find a couple of groups of friends that were definitely good support, and I didn't kind of lost that uh, environment of being bullied. So it's bullying today still happens. Um, it's not a good feeling for kids these days because I think a lot of times parents, I don't know if I want to say overreact, but they don't. You got to sit down with your child, talk to them. If you notice something's wrong, if they're not talking, talk to them. Support from your family, your friends is always going to be the best thing. I know for me, I always had my group of friends. We didn't talk about it because maybe, they knew, but, we always kind of stuck together. And yeah, I would definitely say just letting people know that I grew up bullied. And, it's funny. I look back. I remember one of my classes, had long hair, like the bowl cut. And one of the kids used to throw gum in my hair. And I used to get so like sensitive about it because I never said or done anything to this kid. Looking back, he was just a short kid with a little kid syndrome, short man syndrome. I'm pretty sure he's still short. But it's just funny, you do a little stalking on Facebook or socials, and you see some of these kids that used to bully me, and I look at them and I'm like, they're just puds now. I'm a lot bigger, and um, probably could beat them up if I really wanted to, but they probably don't even think they were bullying me. They probably just went along with it because it was the popular thing. Who the hell knows? But yeah, just be aware with kids, especially these days. And I don't like bullies. I've stood up to bullies before. Always had my ass handed to me within literally less than a minute. But it sucks. And yeah, I just wanted to talk about that, put it out there, and let everybody know that's where I'm coming from. It still happens, still occurs, but in our society today, people don't want to just talk about it. Or what's always worse is the parents of the bully always think their kid isn't a bully. Well, your kid probably is a bully, um, for the most part. And that's the where sticks and stones. It's just words. Doesn't mean anything. If someone says something to you, I always go back to Roadhouse, Patrick Swayze. They're at the bar, all the workers are lined up, and the one guy says, "So what if someone calls my mother a whore?" And Dalton looks at him and goes, "Is she?" Remember, it's just words, sticks and stones. You gotta live by it because the words don't matter. Doesn't matter what you feel because of words. Comes down to just walk away or stand up for yourself until someone throws the first punch, which we hope doesn't happen. So just want to put that out there. I was bullied Still don't know even why, but shit happens. Hopefully, if other people were bullied, you talk about it, let it out, and you've become a better person to know right from wrong, good from evil, and you move on from there to be a good person. So thanks for joining today, listening to me rant and rave. And hopefully you take something away, and just remember, be kind, make someone smile today. Until next time, have a good one. And that's right. I'm trying not to look at where the record button is, and we're ending recording. Have a good one.
Thanks for pulling up a chair with us at All About the Biscuits. Remember, life's messy, flaky, and sometimes sweet, but we're in it together. Don't forget to subscribe, follow, leave a review, and pass the plate to a friend. See you next time.